bump and I missed the hit. Well, I missed that psychedelic trip. Well, I didn't quit, I just ran out of money. Give me another drink and I'll tell ya, I ain't feeding no lines. But that girl you knew last summer, well, she was out to kill your mind. And now you're home and defensive, like a dog gone in a bone.
Lacey, the genius.
The best wrestler around,
right.
no denying it.
I love Dean Christ so much.
Dean Christ.
Bless you all. Except this dodgy cunt.
I don't think Jesus called people dodgy cunts.
He did.
Yes. Here we are again, Dean Christ. Who let this guy in here? What's going on?
Oh, man.
Johnny Cadillac?
You have comments after comments after comments about me on the show, even after I get my top fan badge, and never give me an opportunity to come back at you. So, well, I have a hookup here. I mean, Dean's not here, but I think he found a suitable replacement this week.
Wow. Okay. All right, then. Well, here we go, I guess. Here we go. We are here. It is Dynamite with Dezzie and Cadillac. You got Johnny Cadillac sitting in the driver's seat this week. That's right. That's right. How's your week been, man?
It's been pretty great, man. Yeah, no complaints from me.
Sweet. Sweet.
How about yours?
It's been nice. Been on vacation here and was enjoying a very nice, relaxing day. Looking forward to talking to Dean today about AEW, and now I'm talking to Johnny Cadillac. So
who's just as good as Dean? Just as good.
Hey, just as good, if not better. Okay,
Thank you.
Not better. I'll give you that. You're good. You're good at what you do, my friend. You're good at what you do.
I didn't know that you were always capable of respecting people besides Dean. So it's good to hear.
It's not a muscle I flex very often, but believe me, under all this polar bear, fluff, whatever you want to call it, I tell you, there's muscle. There is muscle, my friend. Awesome. Okay, we got JT West, false advertisement. Haha. Yeah, we're gonna have to get the Johnny Cadillac graphics made here pretty soon. Here,
I'm all for it.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. All right. Well, let's get into the show here. Since we got to, like you said, Dean is apparently not going to be here today. I'm waiting for that message. So hopefully Dean does give me some explanation as to why he gave the keys to Johnny Cadillac today. But on with the show, as they say. On with the show. Okay, so with Team Taz. Team Taz with the opener this week. Oh my gosh. I don't know how you're feeling, Johnny Cadillac, about Team Taz these days, but good gosh, we had an unneeded Taz introduction to this match. It was he called Darby Darbs. I'm sorry. Darbs. Like, when they call Triple H Trips, it's so you don't have to say Triple H. You call them Trips, right? I don't even think that's cool, but at least it shortens it. When you take – okay, anyways, I'm not going to get too much into this here. We had Brian Cage taking on Matt Sydal in the opening match of Dynamite this week here. And, man, let me tell you, man, this was something that normally Sydal, when he fights a bigger guy, he has that advantage, that quickness advantage, but not here. Cage is just as fast as he was, man. Just as fast as he was. What do you think, man?
Well, okay, so if you're going to start off the show and you want to, and for anybody for that matter, if they say, oh, why are we starting with Team Taz? Why are we kicking off Dynamite with a Taz promo? And you feel let down, they instantly revive themselves by giving us this as the opening match. And I must say, I enjoyed it. And again, it's like the quickness, because Brian Cage just as quick. I mean, Sydal's probably still a little faster. He is a smaller. The Hurricane Rana or Frankensteiner to Frankensteiner moment. I think the end of that set of moves kind of like didn't go completely smoothly, as I don't think it'd be hard. I think it'd be hard to do just with how fast they're moving and the fact that Cage is a lot bigger than Matt Sydal is. But Sydal going for the Frankenstein, Cage goes nope, and then he does the same thing, and then Sydal power bombs him. Like, what?
No, definitely flipped the script that time, man, for sure.
Yeah. But no, and I mean, especially if people are just getting their Brian Cage exposure by watching AEW, if they weren't too familiar with him before then. And, he's only had a handful of matches on TV since joining the company. I think that was something where they could say, hey, let's show the world what some of these things Brian Cage is capable of that sticks him out among other people. But,
just saw the Taryn's on here for a break. Awesome, Taryn. Sorry. But yeah, like you said, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. But yeah, for now, I'll accept it this time. But no, I just the whole match into the finish, and the finish amazed me too. And just the different spots and to me, I don't know. I don't really like a match like some of the you go to any wrestling pay-per-view of the past, and some people will say, "Oh, this match stole the show for me." And I watch it, and I said, "Well, it had some good spots." But if it's a spot fest, it's not going to stick out to me. They're like, okay, we're just trying to move up to this spot, to this spot, to this spot. For me, I thought Cage and Seidel had the in-between, had the flow going. So when they get to their big spots, it was something that you could enjoy the whole time as opposed to just a spot fest.
And that's exactly it. I think they both have done it long enough, and they both want to treat their bodies well enough at this point in their careers where they have that mentality of, hey, we're not going to do this in every single match, but because we're facing each other, it's a bit special here, right? So then you're seeing some of these bigger spots that they're both known for. Like you said, there's one part here where Taz starts talking about how tired he is of Cody, holier than thou. Everybody's sick of it. Hey, man, I've been saying this for months, Taz, months. Here I am agreeing with Taz again, though, right? It's in my notes here. Am I Taz? And be honest, man. Am I Taz?
I mean, I honestly feel you agree with him more than you disagree with him. You just get tired of seeing him. Maybe it's like if you look in the mirror, you feel the same way, so you just stay away from mirrors. And so instead, you watch Taz.
Wow, bro. Wow. Okay. Man, that was about the realest, darkest shit, deepest anything anybody's ever said to me, dude.
No, I'll be here the whole episode this week. So
yeah, there you go. But so here we go. I want Cage to win. In my notes, I'm saying I want Cage to win, but really Seidel is bringing it all. And then all of a sudden, he caught Seidel out of the air and gave him a drill claw, and that was kind of the end of it. So
I guess one thing I did think about while you were talking there that I failed to remember before that point is the one thing I felt was good about Taz talking before the show, like talking to the audience and everything, not before the show, at the beginning of the show, was where he said, hey, both these guys are credible and everything, and mentions that Seidel holds a victory over Chris Jericho. Isn't going to say what company it was for because, that's irrelevant. But he's like, hey, he's the real deal. So when Brian Cage beats him, it's a bigger deal than you would think it is. So,
yeah. No, exactly, man. And that really is though. I found that was cool that Taz pushed both the guys like that. And it was funny because I was like, he's Jericho. And I'm thinking back, not in AEW, he hasn't, right? Like, oh my gosh. No, I was a little bit off on the timing with there. And now here, so we roll into the second segment of the show here. They talked about it, but what's Cody going to do next? We're going to hear from Cody. And, sorry. Holy shit. I'm slipping here, guys. I'm slipping. Okay. So here we are now. It's Triple C. It's Triple C now. We are Triple C. It's the Cody Climax Club here with Dezzie and Vroom Vroom, Johnny Cadillac.
Me, yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Always a supporter of Triple C, may I add.
We're getting emails now. People are asking if we're going to put Johnny Cadillac in the graphic. Oh my gosh. No, Johnny Cadillac is not going to be put in the graphics. Johnny Cadillac is not getting his own graphics.
Hey, I see nothing wrong with adding my beautiful face, even if it's an animated face to the graphics. I'm all for it.
Roll my eyes so hard I about fell over here on you, Johnny Cadillac. Anyway, so now we're not talking about Johnny Cadillac right now. We're talking about Cody. But I got a question before we start talking about Cody, because obviously this is where the pants get wet and everybody has to leave the chat and go change for a bit and go to the bathroom afterwards. Where is our TNT champion, okay? I would love to hear from Cody. But I want to hear from Cody later in the show after we bring out our TV or our TNT champion, after Darby has his moment. And I get that might not be Darby's thing. Darby's more of a, I'm going to be Sting in the back here, doing my I sit alone shit. You know what I mean? But and I get that Cody was brought into this segment. That Darbs was brought into the segment here by Cody. But like, I wanted to, man, so anyways. Okay. Anyways. Cody the Evangelist. Sorry. Cody Fried Chicken. I'm sorry. Cody Rhodes. I say, sir. My name is Cody Rhodes. Cody wants MJF in the ring, and that's awesome. I'm all for it. And all of a sudden we get, I don't know, the other one of Brandy Rhodes' backup dancers. Who is this here? Jane Cargill, it says. Jade. Somebody help me out. I'm not even fucking being an asshole here. I couldn't hear what she said.
I heard it as Jade Cargill.
Jade.
I want to. Jade. Jade. That much I do know.
Jade. Okay, I got Cargill for sure, but I think she was. They should have spelled it out or something a little bit bigger for guys like me, because I was like, who is this person? She still seemed really green on the mic. Oh my gosh, you could see what she was kind of going for. I don't know if it was a pacing thing or what, but I was kind of like, okay. Cody checking his watch was this burial of this poor woman. I loved it. I just like, come on. And then she starts talking about how Cody got his second name, but he doesn't deserve to be a first name. And I'm like, who's she representing? Cher? Like, what the fuck is going on here? And then, okay, it is Jade. Thank you, Lise. Thank you very much, Lise. Lise with the save, as always. Shaq. It's Shaquille O'Neal, right? Wrong messenger, dude. This is, what am I missing here? Please tell me I'm missing a big piece of the puzzle where Jade Cargill is Shaq's wife in real life, or that they've got some sort of association. And I don't know, man. Like, the whole thing was falling so flat on me. I was done with all of it, man. I was honestly done with all of it until, and I will never, ever, I don't know. Hey, never say never, because here the fuck I am, saved by Brandy Rhodes. My notes here. Yes, Brandy. Yes, yes. Open mic night, you dizzy bitch. Ratchet heifer. Bitch, get your ass out of here. This was the most intense that I've ever seen Brandy, the most on fire I've ever seen anybody in AEW on Dynamite be. That fierce on the microphone. And it was a good setup for it, right? It was cheesy as fuck with the whole, I'm coming after your man. I got my hand on his tie and all the woos and stuff, right? It was really forced. But good God, did she lay into her, man. Whoo! And I was just, but when she tapped Brandy's ass on the way out, I was like, okay, she's going to get punched. And that's exactly what should have happened. Brandy should have been able to at least give her a forearm, like give her some big fucking move, and then pull him off. Leave that girl fucking like holding her jaw and squaring back. Holy shit, this was segment of the night. 100% for me. I don't even, is that even a thing? Did I just fucking make Brandy Rhodes the fucking, is there going to be a triple B next week? Brandy, please keep this up. I know you're watching our show. I know it's the fire I'm lighting under you, Brandy, and I love it. So I will take full responsibility for this fire promo Brandy did tonight. Please, Johnny Cadillac, tell me.
I'm curious on what your triple B graphics are going to look like next week, if that's the route you're going to eventually go. But I want to say, first of all, rewind a little bit. So, okay, so yeah. Number one, I guess to answer your question for me, the only reason it made sense that Cody was going to start as opposed to Darby Allin coming out saying, hey, I'm the new TNT champion, is he wanted to publicly congratulate Darby Allin first. And I did think that was cool that he did say, hey, unlike what we saw with Brody Lee, getting a rematch is not on my radar right now. It's not happening. And so I did appreciate that. When it got to, he was like, oh, Arn and I are talking about what's next. And I'm thinking that's something, I don't know, like a champion would say who just got done with a long feud. And what's next? Not the former champion being like, hey, so because I'm EVP of this company, obviously everyone wants to know what's next. So when he mentions MJF, and at this point for me, I love Cody, but I'm thinking he's just kind of rambling here. And right. Like, especially because there was no mention of MJF when it comes to Cody Rhodes after that. It was just a thought. Like, obviously, yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, so here's where I can relate to Cody, besides of how great he is, just like Johnny Cadillac is. Where I can relate is...
Rolling my eyes hard this episode here. I might need some Visine. Those of you who know me well, geez.
Jade Cargill comes out and takes Cody's microphone away from him. So I watch Triple D every week. I put in my comments, and the host to the left starts burying me. And then when I come back and I say, hey, this is what I meant by that, or I fire back at him, the host on the left magically doesn't put those comments up. So here's a similar situation where Jade comes in and takes Cody's microphone away, and there's no other microphones around, so he has to stand there and listen to her belittle him and just go on and on and on with a dry promo. And like she goes, hey, nobody knows me because all I've done so far is stood in the crowd and like, yeah, like if you don't recognize the wrestler in the crowd, do you really pay attention to them? So this is me. I have an ego, and but we're talking about Cody, so I can't build myself up here. And so then, yeah, and so she says Shaq, and I'm thinking, okay, like everybody, if it's the same Shaq that everyone's thinking of, you know, they even said, oh, Shaquille O'Neal, he was backstage at Full Gear and everything else. It's like,
Right.
Does he need somebody to introduce him? And then if he does, like, does it really have to be somebody that none of us have ever heard of? I was thinking back to when months ago when they set up the Cody and Archer rival, and Archer had Jake come out. Everybody knows Jake the Snake, though. Everybody knows he's great with promos. So it made sense. But here it's like everyone knows Shaq, so we're going to have somebody who nobody's ever heard of, like, talk him up. And so I don't know. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I get it. He wants to do the wrestling thing, but and you know, he's a star, and I don't know. I don't see where the draw could be for a potential match between them. And then the worst thing about it all for me is he didn't come out or anything.
Right.
Instead, we just had to keep listening to this girl that none of us have ever heard of go on and on and on, where poor Cody got the Johnny Cadillac treatment and couldn't say a damn word because he had no microphone. It's like the host was not letting him put in his comments. So, like, and appear to the rest of the broadcast.
You're just like Cody Rhodes, Johnny. You're just like Cody Rhodes. Is that what you wanted? Is this what you wanted?
We're both great. But anyway.
We're both great. Johnny Cadillac here. Johnny Cadillac.
Top fan, Johnny Cadillac. But.
Okay, listen, top fan +1 Lise here is saying something. She is saying there's nothing wrong. There's nothing about you that is giant. That bitch, right?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
You know what I mean? She had some good lines in there. She definitely did. But it was a little bit labored, you know. She kind of got around to it a bit, you know. Like it was, like you said, like, did I miss something? Maybe it was on Dark because I don't watch a lot of Dark. Maybe it was before. But even just give us one backstage promo where it just shows Shaq talking to people socially distant and he's with this girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have them talking and form that relationship and even show him without a shirt on so it looks like he's a beast because I know he's been working out and I know he's been doing MMA. So show him look like that. Or have him be like, you know, hitting the pads and she's holding them or something, you know, like this. Anything like that before we just get all of a sudden Shaq. Really? Like, is this 1994? We're supposed to just be like, oh, you know, like it's 96 and it's Kazam. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Kazam? Was Kazam? Kazam. I forget. My mind's like Swiss cheese sometimes. Sometimes my mind's like Swiss cheese, just like Johnny Cadillac.
Oh,
you know? Tastes good, but he's a little bit to the touch there. So we get Brian Cage come out, Ricky Starks. So they start attacking Cody, and here comes Darbs. Darbs comes out to the ring, and he's got a thumbtack jacket on. Holy shit! A thumbtack jacket on. Wow. Okay, now here's the one thing I'm talking about now is. I would have just loved to see Cody not make that decision. I'm not chasing a rematch. Shut up. This is the Cody title here. He's just like more of his ego is just being like, you know what? I'm done with you now. I'm on to the next thing. No, man. A real fighting champion would have taken the rematch and then really let the guy go over. But whatever. Maybe it's just because I hate Cody. Because he's so gentlemanly like.
So for me, I felt like, okay, so I didn't get a chance to say, but yes, where we agree, Des, is Brandy Rhodes' promo there on fire. I've
Yes.
seen that clip probably 50 times by now. I've listened to it on repeat, and I smile each and every time, and I'm like, damn, each and every time. It's like if people who are saying, hey, what has Brandy done besides marry Cody Rhodes? What makes her stick out? And before last Wednesday, you ask, and then you try to find some sort of clip, and then you can't necessarily find it. But from Thursday on, it's what has Brandy done? Well, here's this promo that she did to Jade Cargill, who nobody's heard of, and like, oh, okay. I mean, even if they have the Triple D host here, all of a sudden actually singing legitimate praise to Brandy Rhodes, that says something.
No, it's absolutely on fire, man. This is it. And
Yeah.
I think she buried Jade Cargill is what she did. She absolutely buried her to the point. I don't think we're ever going to see Jade Cargill again. And if we do, she's going to be like in a zombie gimmick or something because she was definitely buried here.
Yeah. But no, anyway, so going back to, yes, I wanted to just get that in. But then, because we hadn't seen enough of Team Taz yet, let's get to why Cody's in the ring in the first place. Because they're setting up for something else. And now, here's where, if I was a fan in the audience that night, I probably wouldn't have understood. So thank God I was watching it on TV, where the announcer said a couple different times, that jacket that Darby Allin has on has thumbtacks all over it. And it's not just a sparkly jacket. And thank goodness, because then if I see him doing a standing coffin drop off the second rope to a guy standing there, and it takes him out like that, I would be like, Darby Allin weighs 150 pounds soaking wet. How in the world is he taking out Brian Cage by giving him a back bump? And so then, but yes, the thumbtacks. Thank you for explaining that to me, because they may not be so noticeable that they're all over his jacket. So yes, it makes sense.
No, absolutely. From a distance, I thought it was just like an homage to Chris Jericho. Like it was just like studs. And then when they're like, no, it's tacks. And like you said, as soon as you hit the guy, it's like, oh, damn, that's a thumbtack jacket, isn't it? Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, that spot looked great all of a sudden. All right.
It's like, oh, man, context.
Yep.
Okay, so we're moving on. We're talking to Jon Moxley now. And, oh, my God, Jon Moxley here. I had some audio issues because of the delay. I guess the audio from the arena was still playing from the audio in the feed. So it was kind of giving an echo in the feed that I saw. But the message I got is that he's ready for Kenny Omega, that Jon Moxley is still not phased, and he's ready for this challenge because even if Kenny is the cleaner, if Kenny is the old Kenny, Jon Moxley's ready. And we're going to touch on it later when they talk to Kenny Omega, but my God, how are we so blessed? I wish I was wearing my Mox shirt, but laundry. I'm not good with plans. My God, man, Moxley is the champion we need. The champion we not that we deserve. We deserve shitty things. WWE is what we really deserve. AEW is a treat. AEW has been a real treat because God knows we don't deserve it, man. Wrestling fans as a whole are so toxic. I mean, we got a good family here, obviously, a lot of good people coming in and out of the show. But man, I've seen a lot of really toxic people online. Yeah, and you know what I mean? The comment sections and things like this. This is why they don't give you good things, is because you don't even know what you like. You know what I mean? You don't even know what you want. But Jon Moxley's so pure to himself, and that's why AEW is great to me, because AEW doesn't resonate with everybody, and some of it doesn't hit well with me, but it's everybody doing their own thing, and you can't hate them for that. And Jon Moxley is a fucking champion. And amazingly enough, we're getting the shit December 2nd, dude. That's like weeks away. Early Christmas.
I think it's important to notice here, especially based on what happens or what's said later on in the show, and a top fan +1 badge holder of this channel here, and some of the comments that said person has made. But Jon Moxley specifically said, hey, we're going down this road again. I'm going to be facing Kenny Omega again, and this time it's for the championship. So yeah, let's do this. And so, I mean, that's really, especially like looking at the overall picture of the show, and I know we'll get there, that's what stuck out to me more than anything on there.
Lisa's saying, Mox talking about how he's become that champ for everyone who couldn't pay their bills, lost their job, etc., and he couldn't quit. I felt that. He came from a shitty background, so that angle works for him so well. And he's so sincere about everything, you know? You can tell he's telling, like you said, it's a real thing. This is a guy that remembers where he came from, and
Yeah.
where he's sitting right now, where he's been across the world. Like he said, he was very good with his money. Him and Renee have been very good. So from WWE years, so they didn't need this, but now they're just having fun, and it's fun for them. Fuck, all the best for John Moxley.
When he mentioned, kids feeling like wrestling's a cool thing, and he couldn't quit for those fans who feel the same way that he is. And he's John Moxley here. He's having fun with what he's doing now. And so for the people who feel the same way about wrestling, where he's found his love again, he couldn't quit for those reasons. And that was cool to me too.
For sure, man. For sure. All right. Well, geez. Talk about some juxtaposition here. Talk about left and right here. Talk about cool me versus something just straight up bunkhouse. Bunkhouse like Johnny Cadillac. My gosh, I really want to love Dustin, man. Like I said last week, Dustin's just got to go singles here because him and I wish I had a smarter name for QT Marshall other than something that would bore me like QT yawn something. But Butcher and Blade taking on Natural Nightmares here. Pretty sure Brandy's name is first on the Natural Nightmares video there. And Tony, look at the shape of Blade. He's all cut. And I'm like, okay, Dean, calm down, buddy. I can already hear Dean somewhere out there was getting a little bit feisty here. And we both were because we both love big men. I don't know how you feel about him. But chisel that and tell me a story. And by that, I mean just stand there and look good. JT West here, sorry. It's all about putting reality into your promos, and he does it so well. So we believe it, so we believe it. Exactly. This is it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's exactly it. Okay, so QT takes a play from Cody, takes his belt off here, and he cut himself. I think he was trying to go for the Cody bingo card here, and he almost went for a full line. And they found the only way to make QT mildly interesting is blood and guts. That's the only thing. I was watching this whole thing, and I'm with it, and I'm down for the bunny, and I love the Butcher's look. When the more white they put on these guys, man, I'm towing the line here. Oh, man, I'm towing the line. I was going to say just drape these guys in all white, but I'm like, hang on. Stop. Let's just give them the aprons. You know what I mean? I think that Butcher and Blade have an awesome look here of the finisher on Dustin, but Captain Vanilla comes back. Boom. We get a huge bunny spot, man. That table bunny spot was so rad. This is what we're reminded of when you got awesome wrestlers who are also managers. I can't call her an awesome manager quite yet because I haven't seen enough from her, but I do like her as a wrestler. I liked her in Impact. I've been following her for a while here, so I'm a big bunny fan here myself. But how tone deaf was this? They should not have this ending should not have happened the way it did. I did not want to see QT and Dustin winning this feud, this final off here. Why did they do that? They did not need to win this at all. They shouldn't have won this bullshit. Yawn. Nobody cared last month. Nobody cared last week. Nobody cares this week. Jeepers sakes, man. Like this was the start for me of what became the lowest impact, or I just spoke call it impact. The lowest Dynamite I've seen in a very long time here. So,
man,
I don't know, bro.
That's deep. I can see it because, I don't know. You never seem to have, up until some of the comments you've made here, you never really have a good word to say about me either, where others will certainly disagree. So my whole thing is, I was watching this match. I've seen it twice now. And I thought, for the most part, were there some kinks in it for me? Yes. But for the most part, before Dean was so gracious to give me the link to come on and stick up for myself on this show and give some real expert analysis that our Dez won't always want to acknowledge. Before that, it did cross my mind while I'm watching that show where I said, I'm enjoying this. I'm wondering if they're going to say the same thing on Triple D. So to your credit, yes, this show crossed my mind at that moment. And because, I don't know. And I specifically did think, does Dez still find QT Marshall as vanilla here? That did cross my mind, and you answered my question. So thank you for at least answering my question. The only spot that really bothered me more than anything is, I don't know. I was bothered that so they did that spot where they handcuffed Cody to the turnbuckle, and I said, okay, well, if like the right thing happens and they could just take the turnbuckle off and his cuff can slip off, but I mean, and I think they did do picture in picture during a commercial break, and I remember at one point I see Dustin on the floor on the outside, and I said, wait a minute, what happened there? Like, he was just cuffed. The turnbuckle's still in place. What happened? All of a sudden he's free? And then again, thank you, Excalibur, or I think it was Excalibur, for letting me know when you come back to full picture Dynamite here that Dustin was pushed off the apron so hard that the cuff came undone. And I said, okay, we have an explanation now on how Dustin's back in the match. Cool. And I mean, I did feel like the bulldog he did onto the outside through that little stage there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a little set up and everything else, but like overall,
that was
I
a huge spot though, bro. That was awesome, Bulldog, man. That was awesome.
I loved it. Oh, okay. How many wrestlers, to Dustin Rhodes' credit, not a lot of wrestlers pull off a better bulldog than Dustin. Like, he's always been the innovator of the bulldog. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Stick to the bulldog, maybe an occasional Canadian destroyer. It's like, hey, I can do things. But the bulldog is always Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I love that.
I love that Dustin's expanding himself so much in these moves that we haven't seen him do before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a different pace. Here we go. So, hey, Karen, what's happening? Sorry. Karen Rose saying the bunkhouse match was so old school. I love the homage to Terry Bam Bam Gordy. And so, like, that definitely was old school, man. There was a lot of things that I liked in there. But again, I think and this is a fault of mine. This is definitely on me, is that I tend to paint things with a certain brush if there's any element of something that I don't like. Like, if there's a pizza with mushrooms on it, you could pick every one of those sumbitches off. And just because it was baked into that cheese or it was there, I would just be like,
there's still the lingering taste.
You know what I mean? I still feel this. So I'm watching these matches and I'm like, yo, man, that was awesome. Hey, much to QT's, you know what I mean? You know what goes good with vanilla? Everything goes good with vanilla. Fuck, I like vanilla sometimes, but it's vanilla and it's always in the freezer. Why? Because I don't always want vanilla. So I know where I'm going with this whole vanilla thing. But anyways, so geez. Here, Lisa's saying Dez is going to kick Johnny off and do the show solo in a minute. Not at all. I would not. Oh my gosh. Did I just cough out of nut? What was that? Oh my gosh. And it's like, this is it, the start of it all here, November 13th, the first cough. Whoo!
Well, that you were actually like gonna not completely bury me there, so of course you had to start coughing at that point.
I tell you, you know what I do is I just now in this day and age now in this pandemic, all I do is whenever I start thinking or if I have a brain fart and I lose my train of thought. I'm sorry, where was I? 2020, right?
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Anyway, so for me, please. I guess in the end, I don't know. I felt like QT stood out to me a little more. To Karen's credit, and I actually was going to bring this up when I thought about it. I did feel that it was a good mix of the old school feel meets like the new school, like this is what we do in wrestling nowadays that keeps the fans excited.
Yeah.
So to that, and so I mean, some of those I don't think we would have necessarily seen fire extinguishers used in the older like original bunkhouse match days, but so to me, blood definitely. So that was a match that I thought all the blood was actually really good to have there. The fact that like especially that both Blade and QT bled, so it's just a real bloodbath, and like, hey, to me, great. And honestly, I wasn't opposed to the finish and who went over there. I think I don't remember if it was mentioned or if it was mentioned on this show, but the idea of, the real rivalry here is between QT Marshall and Blade over Allie, and so we're having a tag team match like that. Yeah. I get that, but at the same time, they're both like tag team stars in a sense, so it might be a bigger draw, especially when they're not as as much pushed on the shows as like these overall winners. So I don't know. I wasn't opposed to the tag team field there for the story, but I get where there would be critics there. If you're saying, hey, let me say why I'm gonna bash on that in that moment I'll accept it. Is that fair?
So this is the headline right now we're reading is Vanilla Good Guy likes Vanilla Good Guys. This is the not news we have now. This is the not news that we have here on the show here for Johnny Cadillac. No, I'm just playing with you, brother. I'm just playing with you, dude. Oh, man. Okay, so, yeah, so it was, like you said, it was entertaining. And obviously, like I said, there was a lot to be thankful for in this match. Like, I just want to see Dustin doing some of this on his own here. Let's get him away from QT. I understand QT's got a thing going on with Blade. Let's let them finish that off now so we can get Dustin in some stories, because how much do we have left in the tank in this guy? He's burned the candle at both ends, and I'm hoping he goes on for a lot longer. But just given how slow wrestling got this year, we're lucky to have what we have, and I want to see every single moment being used. So if there's only a couple years left in Dustin's ticket, let's fucking go out in a bang here, man. Really, Yeah. All right. MJ's oh my gosh. How is this even MJF's induction into the inner circle? How, man, I don't know what it was about this week's Dynamite. I don't know if I just knew you were coming on the show ahead of time and I could feel it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm having a bad day. I bet you Dean won't even answer my calls. And I'm still waiting. Ghost Dean here. I guess he is really DC because he's not answering me, Dean. Where are you, buddy? That's what's going on. So anyways, for me, a lot of the show missed. And this segment right here was one of the misses. And really, though, dude, like, sucks because there's a lot of big players in this segment that I like here. The MJF's induction here. MJF starts quoting Drake. Then obviously, as he's plagiarizing here, so he's not getting any of these original ideas on his own, and he's being called out on it. I thought it was hilarious, though, that they lowered these balloons, and I guess there was a storm going on, right? That tropical storm. So it's just like, oh, those are going in downtown. Where are they? Jacksonville. Yeah. Oh, those will be in downtown Jacksonville in a second. Because I saw on social media that they were constantly drying the ring and the ropes in between takes because it was so windy there. The rain was almost coming down sideways. Is how it was going on. Is what I read. So I got that little comment there from JR about how the balloons are going to fly away and they'll be in downtown in seconds.
Oh yeah, he did say that. Yep.
Yeah, and so Vegas, though, hey, look at that. Inner Circle's going to Vegas, and it's all on MJF, man. I love that. I thought that was so cool. He's got the boys' tickets. They're going to have a great time because, hey, I love these guys, man, but just, hey, they can't all be zingers, right? I don't know. They can't all hit. And if they did, then I would not be dressed the way I am. My hair would be very long, and I would be, sort of wanting to look like Chris a lot, and that's what I would be following if I wanted to follow Chris to that level. So I have to be objective at times, and this just didn't hit for me in a lot of ways. But I love that line about they're probably bus tickets. Like, read the tickets, boys. Like they're probably. But I thought it was overall, especially because of everything going on. Maybe you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit much, but it does tie in later on. So it does come around a bit. But on the whole, it was just kind of like to me. You?
So this is where the internet community of Triple D is going to be shocked, where I say, for the most part, I agree with Dez here. I did
take it.
laugh.
Well, victory. You guys will see you next week. Everybody have a great time. I'm on vacation, and we will see you later. Go on a high note, buddy. That's the highest note I'm going to get from you is you agreeing with me. But I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt.
You don't get very many of those from me, and compliments to you. So enjoy them while they last, I suppose. But
thank you.
No, I chuckled like no other, where he says, I've been busting my ass for my long 5-year career. And then he goes, when I first started, my dad gave me a small loan of $1 million. And I thought that was great. I said, okay, this is gold. Like, MJF's a prick. Like, this is great. Like, still be himself despite joining the faction. And then Chris Jericho says, where's Sammy? And, oh, well, whatever. He's out of the hospital, but let's move on. We have everyone else here. And so I don't know. It overall was a little dry to me too.
Yeah.
Overall, and where some commentator spots save moments with the balloons and ending up in downtown Jacksonville. Yes. And
the bus ticket line. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much the announcers add to these segments. Thank goodness.
absolutely. And I was all for it, just like you were there. And I felt like, to me, more than anything, like where this didn't seem like the kind of induction ceremony that I was really looking for, it was step one of what could still be a longer, drawn out story, like tensions in the group. Santana and Ortiz aren't completely on board, and Jericho specifically acknowledges, he says, I know Sammy Guevara disagrees with this, but hey, I made the match. I set the rules. If MJF beats me, he's in. So we got to give him a chance here. And so, some good points, some smiles, but overall kind of lackluster for me too.
Right. There you go. Funny from JT West here. With the blood, they added a little color to QT's life. Sorry for all the QT fans out there, and I realize how small the wrestling community is, and some of you might know QT. I'm sure he's a great guy, but hey, the fucking best cook in the world is probably a prick, okay? So I'm just saying, it's not really connected here, right? So he's a shitty wrestler. I'm sure he's an amazing guy. And I'm sure he's not a shitty wrestler, but you know what? Vanilla's okay. I'm not going to shit on Vanilla too much. I'm just getting out of control here. Spent all their creativity on the video game special Tuesday. For real, though, right? Because the Dynamite seems sporadically put together, says JT.
Pause. Okay, go ahead and finish that comment.
Yeah, okay. I'm just like, what? Okay. A lot of this Dynamite seems sporadically put together, says JT West. Definitely not the usual output from them. Go ahead, Cadillac.
Did you mention the video game announcement from Tuesday?
Yeah, I haven't yet. No, dude. This is an up right here. This is an up for sure.
I thought you mentioned that in a side comment just now, and that's where I got all excited.
Oh yeah, just now I did. Yeah, just now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I didn't think it was in the comments, but
right there. Spent all their creativity on the video game special Tuesday, says JT West.
And how more creative can you get than including a photo of Johnny Cadillac himself in the audience?
Oh, what's this? We got problems here with the feed. I'm sorry, Johnny Cadillac cutting in and out here. Whoa, what's going on here with the feed? That was some pretty good timing there.
Coincidental.
Very coincidental. Wow. The producers here, look, I'm looking at them right now. I'm shaking my head at the guys in the booth here. Boys, come on now. I brought you all the way up from Manuvik for the specific episode. You got to stay alert here. Tell you, can't stay focused. Anyways, Johnny Cadillac, yes. Listen, I'll give this to you. Johnny Cadillac, the face of the Chris Jericho Cruise, Johnny Cadillac is in the Kenny Omega video game introduction on YouTube AEW games.
I mean, there was some other guy next to me that some people claim that they might know or heard of, but that doesn't matter. I was there.
I remember there was a guy. Wasn't there there was like a contractor that you high-fived or something that you were like, hey, buddy, high five. And you were just like, yeah, cool.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, you got to look out for the little people. So, and it was all out. It was a big pay-per-view atmosphere. So make them feel like
much love there. I can't just go out and bury this guy. He's not Johnny Cadillac. I got to give love to Walter here because, hey, we don't all swim like Johnny Cadillac here. We're not all like built of strong brick shit houses. No, I'm sorry. That was just on your resume. You've been into brick shit houses. Sorry, Johnny Cadillac. Oh, that's right. We call him Johnny Cadillac because he's old, beat up, and obsolete. What's up? We call him Johnny Cadillac because his best days are behind. Woo!
Coming from a man 6 years older than me.
We call him Johnny Cadillac because he's an antique at any age. Woo!
Oh,
woo!
Man.
Woo! Wow. We call him Johnny Cadillac because we say, damn, he looks good for that make. Oh, woo! Oh. Yeah.
Oh. You got to get your jabs in too. Oh man. Okay, some of those were pretty creative. I'll give you some credit there, Dez. So I just wow.
But straight up though, Lee says it right here. You were there, Johnny. I only saw the face of the Jericho Cruise, the face of the AEW community, Big Walter. Big Walter was there. Okay, get back on track here. This train is like a runaway train here. We're getting away here.
Oh man,
the Bucks are there with Marvez. Top flight next week Top Flight. Now, I love, again, now this is going to be education to me because I'm going to go and I'm going to look up Top Flight. Like with Warhorse, luckily, I watched an indie show a month prior and I saw Warhorse on there and that got me onto him. Very late to that party. Very late to the Top Flight party. I love that AEW is giving these guys a chance here with all these teams. You know what I mean? So this is super cool. The Bucks are there. Dude, on a little bit of a side rant really quickly, I went to that antique mall. I picked up that Hall of Fame ring and I looked at all that wrestling memorabilia. The dude had 2 AEW bootlegs there, tag team replica bootlegs days ago. And I went on his Instagram and I saw them. I'm like, hey, are they still there? Like in the back? Oh, no, they're gone, man.
Oh.
So I almost. How are you feeling about the Bucks here versus Top Flight?
So to give credit again to the man who's normally on this position on this screen, and because in a lot of ways I can relate to what he's saying. He's always nicer to Johnny Cadillac. Dean's great. We all know this. I don't need to sing too many praises because nobody's going to disagree with what I say.
Hosanna.
And yes, but
wherever you are.
I really like the fact, he's mentioned, because you've talked about this before, where you are against stories being started from watching AEW Dark, where not everyone watches Dark. And Dean has publicly said that he doesn't watch Dark. And I have been in that same position until about a week ago. And I said, okay, I feel like there's too many times where somebody's coming on and I'm clueless because I don't watch Dark. Let's do something about this. And
let's do something about it, damn it.
The first night that I watched I watched Dark, Top Flight was there, and it was like their first or second match. And I don't remember who they were facing, but it was one of those matches where I said, okay, it's clear who's going to go over here. So, and they were impressive, but like nothing really stuck out to me other than it was enough where when I watched Dark this week and they had a tag team match again, I said, I remember them from last week. And they went over on their match because they were facing 2 guys I also had never heard of. And so then I said, okay, well, let's watch this match of 4 people I'm either never heard of or barely familiar with. And then we can look at more of like the art of wrestling and storytelling and everything else. And I said, these guys are good. So then so when I found out that it was going to be the Bucks against Top Flight, I said, okay, I think people know, generally speaking, the Bucks just won the titles. Ideally, who's going to be put over, but these guys could put on a hell of a tag team match against each other. I really hope that it's not going back to what I said in Cage and Seidel way earlier in the night. The main thing is I hope it's not just a spot fest. Like we have these 2 high flying teams, so like spot. Don't give me that. Give me a storytelling. I'm not too worried in this case.
Yeah,
but that's what my main fear is at the same time. I have not fear, but I don't know. I have confidence that these guys can put on a hell of a tag team match against each other, where at the end of it, for the average fan who doesn't watch Dark, sees that and be like, these Top Flight guys, I want to see more. Like, yeah,
and that's absolutely, even the buzz around them already, you know what I mean, is definitely good. And so, like, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. And so we'll see it next week.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'll see it with Dean next week, probably not with you, unless, God forbid, this becomes a regular thing. And then all of a sudden now it's going to be a new name and we're going to be Triple D and Johnny Cadillac fits in there somewhere and we're going to have a Johnny Cadillac gimmick. And
I mean, I'm good for other things other than my occasional comments that you'll put up on the show. Okay. I have insights that
you do. No, you're a very smart man. You're a very smart man. I'll give you that. There's not even a pun after that. There's no joke. That's it.
But yeah, I said my piece.
I just wanted to give that little bit of air there, just so everybody knows that I'm a follow through here. I'm not going to say no.
You could be all right every once in a while. I say that with all sincerity.
Thank you very much. JT West saying Dark is a great platform for young teams to be showcased. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The next matchup here we had on the show, Sean Spears taking on Scorpio Sky. Two good wrestlers, not enough of a story for me. Rushed, but meh. Tully throws Scorpio, and this is like I was watching the match here. I'm into it, out of it kind of thing here. I found myself being very easily just distracted during this one here.
Okay.
I want to like Scorpio. I want to like Sean Spears more. I obviously like Scorpio a lot, but I think they're focusing on the wrong guy in this one here with Sean. Tully tries to throw Scorpio that slug. He wouldn't take it. Spears obviously taken very much good use of that thing and knocked him right the F out. So there we go. That glove coming in good again there with the tape. But I mean, Tully is a weapon to use, and they're showing that. But I don't know if it just felt rushed to me that I just like, it was like 1 week Sean Spears says, you're the moment, you stole my moment from me. Now I'm the moment taker. And then it was like, now they're having a match the week after a pay-per-view. I get that there's a lot going on. You want to focus on, you want to feature people, but I don't know. Just meh.
I can't completely disagree. I thought there were some moments of that match where it really showcased how great Scorpio Sky is. I mean, nothing I could really just name here moment or spot after spot, whatever. But I said, man, this guy's good. Like, with the spot, they have the
solid wrestling, dude. Solid wrestling.
And I mean, they set up the stairs differently on the outside.
Oh God, that spot was awesome.
Yeah, and so good spots. It was easy for me to get distracted too. Now, here's where the big advantage for me watching this twice was.
Yeah.
When I saw it the first time, I said to myself, why in the world is Tully slipping a slug in for Scorpio Sky as well? Why? It made no sense to me. It made perfect sense that he slipped it in for Spears. Why is he throwing a second one in? And then when I rewatched it, the conclusion I came up with, and maybe this is the story they're telling, maybe it's not. But what I came up with, my aha moment was this, where I thought, I bet Tully knows that Scorpio's not going to use it. Yeah. That he's going to throw it away.
It's a distraction.
So he goes to throw it away. He turns his back, doesn't see Spears picking up his.
Yep.
Bingo. There was my aha moment, and I said, "Oh, okay. I guess that was decent storytelling."
Yeah.
And that was my main thought of the whole match. Was just that one moment.
Yeah, I think that's like, it doesn't seem like the whole thing. Like I said again, the ending got me. I like the ending for sure, but the rest of it was kind of like, okay, I want to like Sean. Do I want to like Sean? Maybe again, maybe I made my judgment on Sean because he's with Peyton Royce. I don't know. Am I a good person? Don't answer that. Don't answer that, Johnny. Okay. We're talking to Dasha. Couldn't get the Kenny interview. She's backstage. She could not get Kenny's interview, but Marvez catches him outside. We talked a little bit about this before the show. We talked about this online there, and we've talked about this like since it came out. Is that where are they going with this now? You know what I mean? What's the thing? What's the deal with this? Ready to come back as the top man. Kenny's obviously there. He's ready. And man, I can't wait. I really hope Kenny gets the title going into the new year. He's ready to face Jon Moxley in a real wrestling match. And my gosh, this is going to be one for the ages because, hey, and I know this isn't news to Lise or anybody else, honestly, but I got to bring up Lise because, hey, Lise, love you. Jon Moxley can wrestle like a motherfucker. This is going to be a wrestling match and a half, dude. Just saying, Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Kenny Omega. Watch out for US 4 because it could come back and bite you in the ass. Bite you in the ass. All right. What do we got here next? Tay Conti and Anna Jay taking on Red Velvet and Brandy Rhodes. Well, Tay Conti with Anna versus Red Velvet with Brandy, right? So it was a singles match. Sweet double kick spot in here. Red Velvet almost pinning her after Conti refused to use the chair. We got that sweet gory special into that ripcord knee. Holy shit. There's some combinations here out of that gory special that you just see that just don't. You're like, yes, man. You know what I mean? And this is definitely one of those moves. But other than that, like, you know what I mean? Like, again, it just kind of like fell through the motions. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. No, I did notice that spot, those Brandy Rhodes spots in the match where, oh, wait a minute. Brandy had her attention earlier in the show, and a lot of times I forgot she was even there. I don't know if they ever really put the camera on there, but it's like, hey, she's supporting Red Velvet, and so and we got to even the odds. And since Ty Conti already has a manager and Anna Jay, that let's even it up. And then for me, I felt just with the overall picture of the entire show, it got repetitive again where Anna Jay slipped in the chair and Ty Conti was torn, and she goes, I can't use this. And I said, oh, man, we haven't seen that since the last match where Scorpio Sky didn't use a slug. And I mean, it wasn't the finish of the match. There was still a little more that happened there.
Right.
I thought some of the wrestling in it was decent. But overall, the overall picture of the match was something like a month from now. I can't say with certainty I'll even remember it.
Right. So again, like I said, Dynamite with a very rare miss tonight or this week here for me, honestly. We go back to Inner Circle. Inner Circle's backstage, and they're getting ready for Vegas. They're pumped for Vegas. Sammy shows up, and he said he was sent to the wrong place. He was told in the email to go to the beach. And MJF says, no, but there was a second email, bro, that said to come here. And everybody else knows about the second email except for Sammy. Obviously, this is them going on more with the whole thing. But MJF does have a ticket for Sammy, so that's good. So they're still going to be a part of it there, obviously. But it's very much wedging them out, making that wedge there between Sammy. Dean obviously has talked about it a lot, that this could be Sammy's face push, that Sammy will be the face to come out of the Inner Circle. And 100%, man, this is so cool. I love the complexities there.
And he was endorsed earlier in the show by Matt Hardy. They did a recap of the Elite Deletion match, and where Matt Hardy specifically said afterwards, like, you're welcome, don't mess this up, but I did this, and you'll never understand how much more you'll be pushed now because we've done this. Yeah. And and that long-term storytelling, as they mentioned in the match. But I was like, oh, MJF does have a ticket for Sammy Guevara too. Cool. Yeah. It's folded up in his pocket where everyone else had these like solid, like haven't been touched tickets. And
I didn't notice it. That's funny.
I do have one for you. And then again with the commentary comments that you've made, and JR I think said something of, oh, is that going to be a coach seat?
Is it going to be a coach? That's not fun.
First class like the rest of them. And I was like, I mean, he's got a plane ticket at least. But yeah, it wasn't like, hey, you'll be top of the line with the rest of us.
That'd be so good if they had him show up and Sammy's got like one little suitcase because that's all they could put because he was in coach. So everybody's got these nice suits and they're like, where's your suit? It's back in Jacksonville. Damn it. Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't bring anything with me. It would be so good. Or it's like, Sammy, this club has a dress code. And he's like, I couldn't bring anything good with me because this guy, I think it'd be super hilarious. There's so much they can go with this here. I might start sending, I don't know if they've pre-taped all that stuff yet. Maybe start sending messages and start getting the ear of some people and saying, hey, are you guys thinking about this? Like, how far are you willing to go with this? Because there's some possibilities there. But definitely weaving a good story there, I think. And it's a slower burn in that I want to look back at this year of Dynamite and say, oh, man, do you remember before? And then do you remember now? You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, let's not just do it for the sake of burning out writers like WWE does, where it's like, holy shit, that's good shit. Let's get it out there this month. And it's like, really? Because we could draw it out this month, damn it, 6 weeks from now. And it's like, come on, come on.
Yeah.
But I digress. Eddie Kingston comes out and he admits that he quit. Takes it like a man right in the chin there, but he won't stop. Eddie Kingston is a fierce fighting man, and I love it. Eddie Kingston is a champion in the future wherever he goes, and he's just a strong-ass dude who's tough as fucking nails, man. Honestly. He comes out and he introduces his best friend. Penta's taking on Phoenix 2. And my God, this match, holy shit. This match is what's going to save this Dynamite episode for me in my brain. When I finished this match, I was like, woo, Dynamite!
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing, man. You know what I mean? Like, really, because this was a whole lot of lows. This was like that roller coaster where they spend all the money on the finale. And so the rest of it's kind of, oh, yeah, this is a roller coaster for sure. Yeah. And
with
then just
a couple peaks at the beginning. But,
boom. You know what I mean? Like, bang. You know what I mean? Really, man. Dope Phoenix Venom mask here. Incredible toss out of the ring there by Penta Phoenix again taking so much air here. The commentary all throughout this match, painting that these guys were one of the most celebrated tag teams in the world before you came along, Eddie Kingston, and started talking to your best friend here. And look what's happening now, right? These guys are getting it wasn't even just like a competition. We got the mask grip happening first here. Penta trying to break Phoenix with that standing cloverleaf first. Penta starts tearing at that mask and gets a good hole into it. So you start seeing his face. And it's like, yeah, what have you brought out of these men here? And Eddie says, I pointed out things and they got mad. It's not my fault. That's exactly what an instigator would say. He's fucking playing it so well, man. Phoenix into the ring with that huge Hurricane Rana pin. Holy shit. Phoenix rips Penta's mask so big. I've never seen so much of his fucking face in a match. It was just God. You're fucking kidding me, man. These corkscrew spins by Phoenix outside of the ring. These guys are giving each other 110%, and they're able to take it and give it right back. You know what I mean? We see that sweet Panama Sunrise. Penta's a fucking monster, man. Monster. Penta hits that second, another package pile driver. Oh, sorry. That package pile driver on the apron.
Yeah. Yeah. Followed by the Panama Sunrise.
Yeah. On the floor. You don't get good with, oh my God. Oh. Clap whatever you marks do. Come on. I love that. Eddie Kingston shit was so good. Say whatever you marks do. Come on. Fight forever. Whatever. Do whatever you want. Eddie kicks Phoenix out of the ring. Dude, that was an image right there where he just, instead of picking him up and saying good job, kicks him out of the ring. Just kicks him out of the ring like this is not your time right now. And you could see him you don't need him. You don't need him. Bro, there is some real shit going on here. And Pac shows up. Oh, the bastard is here. I'm going nuts. Oh my God, the referee split them up. So does Pac go with Phoenix now, and that's their tag team in this little thing until the solo? You know what I mean? There's so much that just got ripped open at the end of this episode was just man, I'm in.
Storytelling. You have me on the edge of my seat through everything. I loved everything about this match. The commentary, if you had a chance, you're so amazed by the action you see in the ring. You're so amazed by them ripping each other's masks. Their brothers' masks, where it's a big deal in Mexico. Yep. And they're ripping each other, and it's their brother, and they're doing this, and you're like, holy shit. What? And so then you have people like me who goes back and watches it a second time, where you then can notice the commentary too. And I was ready for Excalibur to leave the commentary table because it seemed to me that he was getting so fed up with Eddie Kingston. And I think at one point he's like, shut up. And I'm like, intensity everywhere. And with the match. And oh my goodness. And the package pile driver. Okay, so I think all of us, nobody was expecting to be let down going into this match. Says, if there's anything that was said from the first match, it's these guys put on a damn good match and an even better match against each other. Let's have it. And it did not disappoint. And then you listen to different things that Kingston says on commentary, where he's like even before he told the fans there in Jacksonville, hey, Lucha Brothers are facing each other. You're welcome. You're going to enjoy this. You're welcome. You have me to thank, but don't thank me because I don't want to hear it. You're welcome. And then he goes to commentary and he's like, well, this is going to be a good match, but my money's on my best friend. So right off the bat, he says, hey, I can support both of these guys maybe, but I'm clearly biased more for one of them than the other.
That's right.
And the match happens. Brutal spot after spot after spot. But again, good storytelling in between, as I mentioned earlier. Damn good match. Had me cringing.
Yeah.
On the edge of my seat. Loved every second of it. And then Kingston comes back in, and the first thing he does is kicks Phoenix out of the ring. And I said, as if it wasn't obvious already that he's biased here. Here's something else.
Yep.
And then Pac. As if all this wasn't big enough already. And then Pac, the man who started the Death Triangle with the Lucha Bros right before he had to leave from the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought back and I said, what did Pac say? Like, what did his promo say? And I watched it back and I was like, oh, that's why I don't remember it, because he didn't, like, he's like, hey, like, let's get straight to the point.
Yeah.
They're probably wanting to hear something from me, so I'm going to say something short, but I'm going to kill Eddie Kingston. And I'm like, please tell me more. And then they're like breaking them up. They're sending security everywhere, and the commentators are saying, oh, they have to look out because Eddie Kingston's not clear after his match with Moxley on Saturday. Like, so bring him back in where we've come from before then, to, like, it makes sense instead of these two men ripping each other's heads off. Like, yes, I want to watch next week. Tell me more.
No, absolutely, man. And Lise here saying it right. I know my name. I don't need you chanting it. Saying Phoenix should be disqualified for trying to remove Penta's mask, but not the other way around. He really did. Eddie added a lot to the commentary, a lot to that match. And it's just like when you have Chris Jericho on there, you have these wrestlers that are just so good on the mic. They're so good at storytelling. They know where it's supposed to go and what you're supposed to be hearing. Wow. Really well put together, man. What a finale. What a finale.
Yeah.
Right here, JT, the bastard is back. You made a big mistake. Enough said. That was it. That was exactly it. All right there, buddy. Johnny Cadillac. I don't know. I'm going to have to, like I said, I haven't gotten back from Dean yet with the time zone differences. Let's see what Dean has been up to and how he's gonna excuse himself for this one, because in the name of reconciliation, I'll say it was a good move if he was doing that. Maybe he just partied too much and he just wasn't answering his phone. I don't know. But I had a good time this week, Johnny.
Yeah, thank you. I've always had respect for Dean, and he sent me the invite here, says, hey, stick up for yourself. And the fact that you haven't heard back from him since then, like, kudos to him. But no. And then your moment of Johnny Cadillac burial that I couldn't come back from, like, kudos. I had fun this week, though, too. Thanks for having me on. Well, thanks for not kicking me out, I should say.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess, right? Oh, my, was that an option this whole? Oh, my gosh. There's the button, too. Okay, well, now I'm learning the technology. This could have been a much easier hour for me. I'm just joking, Johnny. Have a great week, brother. And everybody out there, thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
You too.
Well, I missed the bump and I missed the hit. Well, I missed that psychedelic trip. Well, I didn't quit. I just ran out of money. Give me another drink and I'll tell ya, I ain't feeding no lines. But that girl you knew last summer, well, she was out to kill your mind. And now you're home and defensive, like a dog gone in a bone.
Lacey, the genius.
The best
Yes,
wrestler
you're right.
around, no denying it.
I love Dean Christ so much.
Deep press.
Bless you all. Except this dodgy cunt.
I don't think Jesus called people dodgy cunts.